Hello and welcome to episode 9 of our Timberborn 1.0 experimental playthrough with the Iron Teeth on the Ant Farm map. Cycle 9, Day 9. That's a whole lot of 9s. We have 12.9 days left in the drought that we just started here. We got off to a pretty good start, all things considered. But we do have a couple of problems. Let's hit pause. We don't have any power right now because our only source of power connected to any actual production buildings was this water wheel, and now that it's a drought for the next 13 days, there is absolutely nothing coming through here. We do have the wheel down here that has since been abandoned, and I was going to move it up here, but I haven't done that quite yet. Need to figure out if there's a decent spot for that to go. And I've got a couple of ideas. It's just going to take us a little bit of time and a little bit of ingenuity to try and figure this out, because I thought that, you know, maybe we could put in some sort of a thing right here, and a couple of you guys suggested something similar as well, where we force all of the bad water through this compact water wheel instead of allowing it to squeeze through here. I think we can probably get by, if we had any flow at all, with just a single levee right here. And it would at least have to go through where the pivot point on the wheel is. But that doesn't matter if we don't have anything coming through here in the first place now, does it? So for the next 13 days, this really is functionally irrelevant. What we can do, though, is we can bring up the large power wheel, and we can build it on top of some other things in here, but that's going to require that we have some planks to take care of that. And how do we make planks? That's right, we have to have some sort of power. So, as stupid as this sounds, and it does sound pretty stupid, it's going to actually be easier if we just build another lumber mill down here. Just get it over with. And that's just going to have to be how that goes. So, that's what they've got to do. We have water over here taking care of keeping these things irrigated. We've got plenty of trees over here that we are continuing to grow and get more wood. We've got water pumps that are probably, right now at least, not super critical. This one's going to be empty almost immediately, so I'm just going to let them continue working on that. Then I've got some down here. So I'm going to let these guys continue pumping until this is gone because, well, why not? We have all of this water over here that is beautifully and wonderfully held back with our new dams that we built last time. And we have to figure out how to pump from here. Or, if we decide that we really don't need to worry about having enormous quantities of water stored for this drought, what we could do is we could continue building the height up one level at a time until we have, I don't know, maybe 2 levels higher. It'd probably take longer than this one cycle to do that, so maybe we should just not worry about it quite yet. Point being, I need to come over here at some point and put in platforms and then put in at least one more water pump, and of course that has to go that direction. So that is not a process that is going to be fast. We've already established what that means, but we're going to get there in due time. For now, though, everything is pretty stabilized. We do have a couple of extra beavers, technically, and I suppose I should optimize where those guys are going. I do have one more opportunity to put a builder in, and I do have this inventor who is inventing. We probably should build some more of those. But for right now, it seems extremely important that we continue all of our food stuff. And I know we've got all these blueberries that are going to have to come back at some point and get picked up. So we're just at the point where we kind of have to do everything. And in order for that to happen, we have to be able to just think clearly about what we're trying to do, which has not always been something I've been great at. That's all right. We'll get it figured out. Let's put this in here, and then we will start making a couple more planks. And in the time that it takes us to do that, we should be able to get started on putting in those things up top. And put the big wheel up there so it's not quite in the way so much. So, There's also a couple other things we could do regarding putting better power in through here. I unfortunately cannot put another water wheel on top of the bad water source itself. That's just not how that works. But putting in a levee here absolutely is going to help in terms of getting the water where we want it to go. So we'll let them continue doing all that stuff. Need to get somebody on here so they can, you know, make some planks, monitor all of our water levels, monitor all of our production and science and everything, and then I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. We got some mangrove trees that can continue to be harvested from, and I believe I shouldn't have anything else that is marked for cutting. At least down here, they're not going to be able to get into there anyway. Let's make sure we just unmark these for planting, because that's not going to work no matter what. If I have an extra beaver, I could probably get them to plant some other stuff in here, because these aren't going to die. So why don't we... Yeah, why don't we do that? Let them continue doing what they got to do, because it's irrigated, for the time being at least. So we know this is good here. We know we've already got this. I do need to have... 150 science. I don't think there's anything else that's really pressing for me to get researched now, except having a smelter sounds like a really, really good idea sooner rather than later. I suppose we'll see if that's going to make any sense at some point in the future here. I guess I should have these guys just replant more than anything else. I've got... Yep. They're never working at the same time, are they? Tends to be how that goes. Take this back down to 2. This is dry. These are also dry, so that gets most of our workforce back. Yeah, that should be substantially better. How in the world did they already build this with nobody able to get up anywhere? Did I, Oh, they could build it from up top. Alright. Wow. Well, that's certainly an interesting development now, isn't it? I think what's going to make the most sense now, knowing how this is set up, I'm going to demolish this slope here. This is going to need to be a platform, and then I can put a regular set of stairs somewhere else so that we can get down into here. I think it's probably going to be the only reasonable way to do this. We do have the ability, if we want to be a little bit extra, we do have the ability to get over here from somewhere else. I don't think I really need to be that concerned about this lumberjack not being accessible anymore, because this whole thing can come in from over here, and nothing below this is actually that big of a deal. So that should solve that problem for the time being. Let's hurry up and get that thing out of here. There we go. Platform going in there. Just gets that hooked up, and then I know it's not the deepest part here, but I could put another one right in this spot, or I could just, you know, keep on building something across there. That should be fine. Okay, I've got planks there. I don't know that I need to put another one of these levees here, but just in case, I will do that. And then I think I was trying to decide if I was going to put a double platform, research a double platform, or try to save for metal processing. Because this is going to be producing enough power to do a pretty decent amount of stuff. And I could squeeze metal in here without it being a huge pain in the butt. I think that's probably going to be the better thing to do. So let's go for that. I meant to press the 3 times button. There we go. Yeah, just let these guys do what they gotta do. I've got 3 extra beavers now because these guys can't do anything. It is what it is. Well, they're making that stuff work. And I got 10 there. I should have enough planks at some point pretty soon to stick this and this, even though I know it's going to use more, it's going to use more materials, technically. But this is probably the way this has to be. And then, of course, I'll put this up there. That should be all right. We're going to have enough wood coming up here pretty soon, so that shouldn't be an issue. We are pumping from here, which is good. That should, honestly, for the next 8 days, that should be just about all the water we can reasonably use. I don't think I've got anybody else pumping who isn't supposed to be pumping. So, as far as I'm concerned, we should be in a pretty good spot here. And, okay, so this is still going to be possible for us to get past here, right? Let's just make sure we do that. Because now that this is blocked off, we could actually begin the process of descending down this area and turning this into something else. I haven't forgotten about putting water dumps in yet. I know, but I have to do one thing at a time. And somehow that always manages to irritate at least a few of you, but just trust me. Things are going to go really, really poorly if I try to do too much at once. So I'm going to get this turned back on, keep this filled up so it doesn't evaporate quite so fast. Also, we have all of this water down here. This should not be an issue. Now we're really starting to feel the consequences of not having power up here. Because a lot of these cassavas, first of all, aren't having anything done to them because, well, there's no power. So, fortunately, we do still have some mangrove fruits, we have some kohlrabis, and we do have some berries to lean on until we can get this set back up. As far as I can tell, it shouldn't be too far away. I just need to get some more logs out. Is that all of the planks I've got? Because I know some of them could be in transit here, but I don't want to have too many of these logs turned into planks. Not that it really matters, I guess. I just need this to say 6, and then I can stop that whole thing. Cut a bunch of trees down if we're really, really desperate and it looks like things are going to go bad, and then we can, you know, tear a building down, use the logs, so on and so forth. You know how this goes. So let's just hit pause on both of those. And then I need to get 50 logs up here, so that's going to require that we have all of these guys cut down everything as much as they can. Or at least the trees that are available to be cut down. I've got some of these up here. These are at 74, 92. Okay, so within a couple of days, these are going to be, they're going to be looking all right. They're not going to be looking perfect, but things have been worse. So let's do ourselves a favor. Just get these things picked up immediately because we are already out of food and really bad things are going to happen. Just get these logs brought up here. Make this power wheel. I've got, I guess I'll have 2 beavers working on that. I'll have the fermenter turned on. Because we are now using the emergency berries to keep the beavers alive, and that is not what we want to be doing. We need to have the berries so we can have more beavers. At some point. Shouldn't be a tremendously long time. Let's get 2 more beavers here in the district center. Get them working on that. And at some point, hopefully, we won't have to worry about this ever again because we've solved most of our problems. Science is still coming in. In the meantime, let's research the smelter. I know we don't have the materials to build it yet. It's fine. And depending on how I wanted to have this set up, I probably should. I'm not going to be able to get that over there unless I do something else. So, I know, we're out of food. It's not that big of a deal. Come on. I just need a couple more beavers to get on over here. Bring me the logs, and you're not going to have to be hungry anymore because you can actually get your food. Come on. Come on. 2 more logs. 2 more logs, and somebody just has to start walking around in a circle. Come on. Ugh. Alright, well, they're gonna be in some deep stuff. Let's actually check and see. Oh, they're just drama queens. They're not actually starving yet. They're just, like, complaining. So I got 2 of them in there. I got 1 in here. I probably don't need 2 on the power wheel. I can probably just have the 1 for right now. And they got to go to work and take care of all that stuff because, boy, oh boy, are these beavers hungry. So I've got 2 planks in order to build a smelter, which you might be asking, why in the world are you trying to do that right now? Well, there's a billion other things that we need to do that absolutely require metal, most of which revolve around the sluice gate. So I think, even though this isn't the best place for it right now, I think this is the best thing that we can do, is start building this. Pardon my pausing to hack and cough and all that stuff, but they're going to get this work done, and at some point, we will be able to have metal processing, hopefully without too much more complaining on behalf of these beavers here. And then we can slowly work our way toward doing the diversion for this set of sources, and then also building this out so it doesn't spill nasty water all over the place. Another thing we should probably do before the end of this drought is come down here and build ourselves a levee right here. I think they can reach this. Yes, they should be able to. What this is going to do is this is going to stop bad water from getting down into this area here. It's still going to be contaminated, but it's not going to be, you know, saturated. And what we may be able to do eventually is get this area cleaned up a little bit better, but this is just going to keep all that bad water from coming in here and making it slightly worse. Okay, I've got all these logs. I've got all these extra beavers. Let's get a second beaver in the power wheel, and then we'll get these guys in here. Start making some more planks so we can continue making the smelter. Make a couple of gears, and so on and so forth. And yes, those of you who are already asking, why don't you just build another medium tank? Well, I'm, you know, trying to do that. But these things, of course, take time. That is just the way it goes. And now we kind of got ourselves in this vicious cycle of the beavers are hungry, so they don't want to work, and because they don't want to work, they're never going to have the stuff to stop being hungry. So you just kind of have to let it get to the point where that's no longer a problem, and you already know. I don't have to tell you what that means. So that's going there. Got science still coming in. Plenty of crops. Wood a little slower than I'd prefer, but now that this isn't in danger of being polluted, well, at least not all of this, for the time being, maybe we should think about putting in some more trees. This being continually pumped, I think, was a good thing, because now we still have 600 water. We're 2.3 days away from having all the other stuff come back in. I can't be upset about it. Okay, I don't have enough scrap metal to continue with that, so I guess I could turn that back on just for a brief moment in time. Yeah, the hunger cycle. The hunger cycle is a big, big issue. And what's probably going to happen here is I'm going to need to keep building something else in here. This just isn't fast enough. Until it becomes fast enough, it just isn't fast enough to keep up. Because the beavers are hungry, so they go slower, and so on and so forth. You know how it goes. As long as we can slowly chip away at that, we should be okay. Berries, unfortunately, take a little bit longer to come back if we deplete that supply. That's just the way that goes. Let's start taking these jobs back here. Okay, so this is dry. That's fine. We already knew that was going to be kind of a pain in the butt. Yep. Fermented cassava. Never should have let it get that far out of whack, but that's the way she goes. Vertical power shafts. If I have the gears and the planks and all that, probably not a bad idea to get that going here. It does transfer by power through buildings, but I can't really put everything there. So let's do one of those and just, you know, try to make something out of whatever we can, honestly. They're not going to be able to make this nearly fast enough unless everything goes exactly perfectly correct. We are slowly getting there. There we go. Okay, yeah, half the beavers not being hungry anymore, that's good. The reason I put this vertical power shaft over here is because it's going to be easiest for us to continue just expanding industry if we approach it from this kind of perspective here. So, let's just do this. I know this looks insane, and you're probably right. But that's going to be the easiest way for us to continue expanding this, we can fit more of these along the top here and so on and so forth. End every day with no food, and it's only going to get just immeasurably worse. But now that we have the temperate cycle back again, I don't have to have anybody on the wheel. I can just have everybody pumping, which means I need to adjust my floodgates. Those are all at 0. That's at 0.95. Let's lower that to 0.9. And then this, at this point we might as well just leave that at all times. Let's see, this can be... Honestly, they can stay in here and pump this, but I can get these in here. I don't need to dare pause that. I just need to get all this clean water in here. Get everybody pumping as much as we can. At least we didn't run out. This is good. This is good. I need to get this other thing finished as well, but having the smelter taken care of, I think, is going to be very, very advantageous. Even if it's not going to be before the next bad tide. Because once we get this completely diverted effectively, then we're going to be in so much better shape. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about here, right? This not getting contaminated anymore. Just need to make sure this isn't being completely in a bad spot here. This should be okay. Should be okay if I remember correctly. We'll find out. We will see. We will see. Alright, so I've got planks still cooking, theoretically. But I just need these guys to pump and then continue making as much of this as they can. I gotta get these guys into gear workshops, too. Well, my planks keep going into other buildings because they're really important to have those. It's fine, is what it is. I am going to pause this smelter build, though, just so I can get this first gear that we're building to go into, ideally, this vertical power shaft right here. Should have done that a long time ago. Did they put the gears in the... Yes, they did. Okay, well, I should have known that was going to be a thing. Food continues to be an absolute disaster, but that's alright. We know it's going to get better eventually. I thought I unpaused this. Maybe not. Okay. Ah, that's what was supposed to be paused. Alright, come on. Just put the gear in there. It's not that big of a deal, folks. Just get it done. We're all depending on you. We're all counting on you. That's the was that from Airplane or was that from Airport? One of those 70s aviation disaster movies. One is definitely better than the other, and I think you know what the answer to that question is. Let's see. Oh no. Okay. Well, because the game likes to be mean to me sometimes, we finally, after 10 cycles, got the shortest possible temperate. Oh boy. Well, you know, it's honestly probably fine at this point because I have all this water down here. But man, this is going to be potentially a really rough situation for us to find ourselves in. Because we're not in a good spot with food. Which means we really aren't in a good spot with anything. But I was hoping to have at least another couple of days to try and start on whatever we're going to do over here. Because remember, when we do all of our diversion in this area, I got to send somebody down in here to build this up, put a sluice gate in, which, by the way, we still have to research. And then I've got to be able to build a diversion from the top here, which... The way this is set up, honestly, putting this levee here would be fine. But then I still have to come in from the top to do all this other stuff. So they got that gear in there. That's fine. I guess now probably the biggest thing is going to have to be putting this medium tank together. Because we know we have to have storage capacity. We haven't been able to actually even come close to filling what we've already got. So, no, I don't need that. Again, pardon the pausing so I don't explode your eardrums with hacking and coughing. But the fermenter's almost done, and this is not even close. So I suppose... Yeah, they're going to finish this anyway, but just really did not have enough time to do everything that I wanted to do before this became a problem again. Well, I think it's abundantly clear that we need to have another pump down here. Although for a long drought, or gotta zoom out so I don't have that sound in my ears the whole time. Another long drought or long bad tide, it's not going to be the end of the world to only have one thing in here, because that would at least meter it out. Pumping this out, I mean. So, man, 22 beavers. With this much in here, we're probably okay, but the issue now is that since we have finally more than, 15, 16, it is going to take more pumpers to actually get us enough water that we're actually going to be able to use. Now, why is... of course, stupid me seemed to have forgotten that I can't put power through an incomplete building. Well... Oh boy, that's a whole thing, isn't it? I don't have enough planks. I do have enough power. Yeah, because now this is doing 240 HP. How about that? How about that? That's actually fantastic. It's just unfortunate that I don't have enough manpower to do this. I don't have a... Yeah. Well, if I'm not really building that much, I can take somebody away from here. Take 2. So they are still trying to pump, which is kind of important. I guess that's fine. Not much else I can do about it. So I don't have to have this building operating to have power go through it, but I do have to have it actually complete. So, we got another 18 gears, which take 3 hours each. I think you know what that means. It means that we're not having that until the start of this bad tide, at the bare minimum. But at least we do have some stuff for these beavers to eat. We have cassava that they haven't pulled out of the ground yet. I guess that is okay. I have some corn we've been growing. It's probably not a bad idea to keep planting some more stuff over here. Might as well do some more of that. This is all going to be poisoned. I should not have even bothered trying to plant this. Yeah, that's gonna be bad water very, very shortly here. Which, you know what that means is I don't want this dam to be here. Yeah, I really don't. So let's get rid of that. We can pick those logs up off the ground and they can try to do something else with them. Up to the 6 gears. Okay, so it's still working. It's fine. I want this to be as full as it can be. We do want to slowly start getting this pushed back through here. I probably do need to put a floodgate up here, but you know how that goes. We're not quite to that point yet where that's going to be reasonably smart for us to do. Yeah, this is all going to be dead. 60, yeah, there's no chance that's going to be usable. Okay, halfway down on that, I've got 2 more gears there. I guess I'm not really so worried about the water anymore as I am about just being able to provide for the beavers in terms of food. So we'll have to let that be what that's going to be. Start the process of bringing this back up. Let's see, 0.55. It's probably all going to start going off the back end. Well, we know we've got this for at least another 7 or 8 days past the start of the bad tide, so that's fine. That'll allow us to keep having these trees come in. We've got a decent amount of logs. You know, not a ton, but we're doing about as well as we can, all things considered. They're still pumping down here, right? Yes, they are. Okay. Don't need that, so that's already paused. Gather flag is not paused. What is this pause icon for? Oh, that's for the forester. Okay. I guess we're alright. Yeah, we got over 100 here. That's fine. Yeah, it's already stopped coming through here entirely. These were... Oh, these weren't unpaused. That's probably exactly why. Oh, I miss my automation so much. It's fine. It's fine. Not everything can have mods. Although some people get, like, militantly angry about that, which makes absolutely no sense. It's fine. Put this up to 0.8. I really don't want this to splash poison everywhere. But I do need this to actually have clean water coming through here. So let's get this up to 1.0, because we only have a little bit of time left. Let's get that as full as we can. Okay, that's overflowing. Now that gets stopped. And then that should... Alright, well, in theory it should stop flooding itself shortly. That's fine there. Yeah, there we go. Just get this flowing out the backside before it becomes an issue. It's going to be weird for a little bit, and then it's not going to be. Once we have all the metal and everything to do the impermeable floors, then I can just cap this. It won't be a problem. So that is okay there. That's okay there. This is at as high as it goes. Maybe could have gone a little higher, but that's fine. And then, of course, this here is going to be poisoned. We've got food. We've got some water. Wow. Only 75% of the way through the gears. I guess that's fine. This is going to keep running, and that's exactly what we want. Now we just have to hope we don't have a super long bad tide. Okay, 12 days. Could have been a whole lot worse. Now all of this stuff is going to die pretty soon. That's just the way it goes. I'll let these guys keep pumping for a little bit, but they are eventually going to find themselves unable to really do much of anything. We'll check back with them in a little bit. Okay, what's the deal here? Still a slow process, huh? Let's hit pause on the fluid dumps. We're not wasting any more water. We're not really wasting, we're just using it in a way that is not conducive to long-term success. Alright, 3 more of those going in there. Plenty of logs to chop down. I don't really have a place for them to go. I got tons of planks. I don't need that. Let's unpause this. Get the rest of those planks in here. And then, I guess... Okay, I might not quite have enough to turn everything else into gears, but now I've got a smelter. And I can start making metal. That is promising, folks. Okay, so this is, I'm just going to say, done. I got extra beavers. Alright, I got somebody working in here. Yeah, I guess I can turn this back on. We're going to want to start getting some storage for actual metal in place. Which, it looks like this here is going to be good for that. And I know it's, it's all poison and doom and gloom and stuff over here. But now that we have metal coming in, we're going to be in good shape. I'm going to be in real good shape. Just need the rest of these gears. Those guys are all rolling. The demand is, yes, substantially higher now, but I guess I'm going to have to probably employ somebody on the Wheel of Suffering. The Beard Wheel, as I've taken to calling it. You know, I still haven't put that graphic up on the screen. At this point, I probably shouldn't, because it's episode 9. I just keep forgetting to do that. Are these ready to... Yes, okay. They can cut those. Okay, those are marked for cutting. That's fine. Oh, and these trees are dead due to contamination, so they can be cut down. Good. That is easy to deal with. We got that there. These... I think now the wood isn't so much of a problem as it is trying to actually get projects accomplished. I wish this was not a bad tide, or else I would send somebody down here and start doing sluices. Well, we still have to research those, so we do still need the science. And I have a couple of these that they could start working on if they felt so inclined. I'm going to pause this for right now so we don't end up completely derailing everything else. We just really, really, really need to make some more food storage. And now that we have metal unlocked, it's not going to be too much longer before we can have a food factory, which means we need to be growing corn. So what that says to me is that I need to start transitioning some of these crops over. So, since we know this isn't going to become poisoned, I'm going to take all of these cassava plants right here, and when those get harvested, I will replace them with corn, and then hopefully by that point I will have the ability to actually start doing food factory processing. And they probably won't harvest these until I get somebody in here, and I'm not really building anything, so let's take one more beaver out of that. I think the only water pump I even have going is up here. Do I need to have this one still going? I probably do. It's probably a bad idea to pause that, because you know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to forget. And then, well, bad things are going to happen. But we've got food going there. I really should have more storage for fermented cassava. Of course, the large warehouse is vastly better at doing that, but it does cost resources that we're trying to put towards some other things. So, now the question becomes, am I going to be able to build and operate a food factory stably without it being a huge deal? I don't know that the answer to that question is yes, but what I do know is that I can easily put in a food factory building up here, and depending on how I want to orient this, probably it's going to make the most sense to do this here, but it's going to be it's going to be a little bit of spaghetti power-wise. I'm going to need to put in something, I guess, down here. Yeah, it's just, for the lack of other ideas, I'll just make that scrap metal, because why not? I almost have enough science, and by almost I mean I have 2/3 of it. But if I get 300 science, I can get the food factory unlocked, then all I'd have to do is have a power shaft come up here and then go in through the front side of this thing. I think that is doable, but I need another, I need another 9 of those. The gears aren't such a huge deal. It's just that now we find ourselves with a whole bunch of projects to complete and not a lot of manpower to do it with. While at the same time kind of just being bogged down with everything. Well, that's the way she goes. Just let them grind away at it, I suppose. Probably should build another barracks pretty soon. Although the way things are now, this honestly seems fine. It doesn't really seem, ideal, but we've definitely done worse. I don't really have any other free stuff I can build. Yeah, science is still kind of a hot commodity here. At least we're not panicking about, not having any water stored. We are making improvements. Incrementally. Yeah, so I really want to get this tank finished as soon as I can. Then I need to turn the smelter back on, and that is going to, of course, require that we have other stuff going. I think I have got full storage on planks. I don't really have anywhere else for those to go, so we might as well just keep building these small storage things here. Anywhere we have a spot to do it, we probably should. Alright, so it looks like this is ready to be turned into corn. I'm not going to worry about canola just yet. But we really do want to get ahead of that before we have the building actually built, so that it can be supplied immediately. This does take 10 days. That should not be an issue. 250 science. Not too bad, not too bad. Gears are still, like the speed of smell. It's just such an incredibly slow process. I'm going to Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn that smelter on. I know it's not as much power as we can actually produce. But I do need to get that going because this does take some time. Well, I mean, it's only 2 hours per metal block, but it adds up. And as soon as we're done with this medium tank here, then I'm just going to have to put 15 more into there. Yeah, once I can actually get this research, it's going to go a little bit more smoothly. Just have to wait. Just have to wait. Anything else over here that is going to become an issue? Well, this is already polluted, so there's no reason not to have beavers in here pumping this water out, just to help speed that process along. Now I'm down four beavers. Well, you can't do everything all at once. That is, that's definitely a problem. I'll feel a little bit better once this tank is done, then I know I can turn off some of this. Let's turn off the industrial lumber mill, because that's just about done, and maybe we can then get a couple of them back in here to do some research. There we go, that's done. I only need 15 of these. I got 4 of those, I only need 10. Well, that didn't last long. Okay. Well, there you go. There's your solution. They can now go back to you know, studying their books or whatever. And no, I have not forgotten about putting water down here. This might actually be the best possible time to do this. I'm thinking that is going to be the case. So why don't we... that doesn't need to be... doesn't need to be that far out. I'm fine with this only being 8 squares instead of 9, because otherwise it would end up causing problems. Might as well stick this here. Okay, we're almost to 300 science. Almost. Just a moment here. And... come on. 299. There we go. There's our 300. So, food factory goes there. Let's go ahead and set this up for corn, and then I'm going to need to get the ball rolling on getting our power shafts set up. So, I'm going to do this. I know this is going to use a lot of materials that might seem somewhat wasteful, but the reason I'm doing that is because this can get plugged in on the second story there. Then I can use this to go this way. And then I can also put another one of these fermenters right here. Eventually. So, that's fine. I've got the one metal block left to make for that. That should be mostly okay. I got 730-ish water. That's looking alright. Still plenty in here. That's fine. We'll just leave that as it was. I'm actually doing kind of okay on logs and planks and everything. So now we just wait. The only reason this platform's going in is because they have to be able to access these things. That's just the way it is. And then after that, I believe this might be the best way to approach this is just putting that there. Because then I still have the path coming this way if I want. And this should... I mean, it's not going to repel contamination, but it'll keep this irrigated for droughts, and that still is going to be a pretty important thing for us here. That is just about done. I know I still have the one beaver working. That is a problem I really need to get better at. We'll go up to 2. And as soon as this is operating, well, it's not going to be anytime soon. But as soon as this is operating, that's going to take somebody full-time. This is already paused. Yep, that's going to take its time. This is about to be emptied out, so let's fix that. I suppose I should replant some of these, because this is not, you know, contaminated. Hit pause at the farmhouse. That should be fine. All the metal blocks are there. Let's hit pause on that. which is going to allow me to get these guys back. Yeah, this seems okay. Seems like we're doing alright. Definitely need more planks. We almost don't need any more gears. We're getting there. Let's make sure we're not running out of water. No, but it's getting low. That's fine. We've got 4 days left. This is doing its job. Yeah, it's becoming abundantly clear we really, really, really need to expand our pumping capacity if we're going to have any more than 20 beavers. Well, we haven't run out yet. I guess that's important. Getting this operating more or less full-time is probably just a tiny bit more important. This has actually got all the materials it needs, huh? Well, if that's going to be the case, yeah, let's get this thing all set up, huh? They got the gear already. I know we're going to continue needing gears, but this is full already. That's fine. Look how nicely that worked out. I believe maybe I shouldn't bother pausing the gears, because you know we're going to need them. I just need more. I need more planks, so maybe I should pause the gears so they're not consuming all that much. So these guys here definitely can get more replanting accomplished. This guy's got plenty to do, but this guy didn't have anything else to do. That's fine. Get that fixed up. Well, I've got more capacity. I can make more types of food. This will store 60 corn rations by itself, which is nice. But this is going to need its own storage, so I'm going to put in... not storage for corn rations, mind you. Storage for just corn by itself. Because when we turn corn into corn rations, we get 5 times as many. So if I'm going to have one type of storage, it needs to be the raw materials. They can just come eat it out of here. That's gonna be for the best. Oh, look at that. Look how much more fresh, clean space this gives us. And I know this is still polluted, but this isn't. And then down here, even though it's polluted, it's not going to be forever, and during droughts this is really, really, really going to help. So that means I should put a farmhouse over here. I should move the other one at the very least. You know what? Putting this right here actually seems like a better move. Long term, that is the caps lock key, not the A key. Good job. And until we can get all of our different stuff fixed here, this seems like a much better place to put in. Oh, that's not going to fit. That will fit, though. Some more storage for water. So, that is what we'll do. Just need to be able to take care of all of it in due time. Look at that, we've already got corn rations. How about that? You'll love to see it. And I've got scrap metal guy here. Now, obviously, you can't tell it which one to get. You can influence which one it's going to pull from just by where you decide to place it. So if I really, really, really want to have this diversion done as soon as possible, I probably should put a scavenger flag here. And then instead of the other ways that I've been doing this whole time, just stick this here. Now the reason for that, of course, is so that when it decides, oh, I need to gather some scrap metal, it just goes to the closest one, which is this right here. The reason for that being, when I have the diversion stuff set up here, this is going to become inaccessible, and that's 90 scrap metal. We really don't have a ton on this map, all things considered. So, you know, we want to be able to do what we can do with it. And we do have, of course, the underground ruins over here, but it's not going to be a super convenient process getting that set up. In fact, I haven't even checked to see if it's got clearance for it. Okay, no, it does. But that's 4,000 science. That's going to take us a long time. We've got this farmhouse taken care of. I believe if this is going to be always irrigated, then it's probably going to be wise for us to grow some trees on these outskirts areas. But I have not checked to see if any of these foresters even have reach all the way down here. They probably don't. No. So I would need to put another forester over here. Okay, that does fit. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's put a forester in. And then these very, very far reaches here that never get polluted. I think oak trees are probably going to be the way to go for that. And then the rest of this, remember, this isn't going to be polluted forever. This would be a great place for us to have additional types of food. I'm pretty sure corn, at this point, corn is going to be our main crop now that we can actually process it. Cassava's had their day, but corn is just so much more efficient in terms of space. 10 days, you get 2 things there. 5 days, you get 1. So, okay, I guess technically the amount you pull out of the ground is the same per square per day. But this is 5 times as much from one ingredient versus this being 2.5 times. So, you know, it makes sense. Alright, so we're just about at the end of our bad tide here. We did not run out of food. We did not run out of water. And we managed to get a new, more efficient means of having food factoried. Factoried is not a word. Excuse me, I'm very tired. Not been feeling great the past couple of days, but that's fine. Got oak trees here. Probably should have another fluid dump in this area, but didn't quite get that taken care of. I do like this being a thing. Let's hit pause. We can also plant here if we had a staircase. That would be a great place to have trees. So I will do just that. I know I could have some stuff inside here, but let's be honest, it's not going to really be worth that much of the effort. This forester probably doesn't need to be right here. But I also don't think I could really do much with it being anywhere else. So, why don't we instead make use of the space that we have. Put that there. And then I can put another forester right here that'll be able to reach, okay, a decent bit of this. Yeah, it's really not great spatial utilization, but it doesn't have to be... It doesn't have to be used all the time. I really, really want to be able to grow some trees up here. Now that we have all this extra capacity as well, I don't think I need to have these guys up here. Let's get that emptied out. Because this right here is a great spot for growing oak trees and taking care of all of that, especially now that things have kind of stabilized a little bit. And this is going to be irrigated. Yeah, let's get them to take care of that. Get these emptied out and completely removed. Get this path out of here. That's fine. And then that's going to have to be a staircase, so I don't need to put something there. That goes there, and you know what? Oh, I didn't put a path here. I think that's enough. It's enough problem solved for one episode, don't you? Coming up on 55, 56 minutes anyway. Yeah, I feel really good, even though the the corn got blown through immediately. We're still, we're in the process of growing some. Seeing how, they're not going to have corn for a while, I can pause that. I've got these guys absolutely going to town on planks. Do I have enough to do anything here? No, I do not. I need to turn the gears back on. I guess that's fine. I'm going to have these guys pumping pretty soon, so let's get this situated ahead of... Oh, look at that. It just now dried up. Perfect timing. See, look how nicely this is. I'm so proud of this thing right here. It's just been fantastic. Let's get somebody in there. Pause that thing. About to be in cycle 11. We are going to end the episode here in just a moment. But I do want to make sure I take care of as much as I can first. Yeah, that needs to be dealt with. As soon as this is clean, we will turn this back on over here. Let these things get sorted again. And we ended the bad tide with 500 water. That's really not that bad. Not too shabby. Right, just a little bit more time there. This is still going to be, well, it's going to be what it's going to be. We'll have to focus on diverting this next episode when we get there. Okay, this looks clean. Hit 0 on that. Hit 0 on that. This has already been set back down. This can be there. Down 6 jobs. Well, for the time being, I suppose I should just plant more corn over here, huh? This is all the land that was polluted otherwise, so why don't we, in the meantime, make this kohlrabi because, well, it only takes 3 days to grow, and it's not going to be that big of a loss. If it dies, put in some other trees and stuff there. Down 5, I need them all to be working on that, so I probably shouldn't have them focused on planting trees and all that other stuff. Let's hit pause on that thing. This guy's done planting. Good. Go do something else, like go pump stuff out of the ground. That's always helpful. And as a reminder, 2 of these 4 are fake jobs because I have this set to minimum priority. I guess that's probably okay. But as soon as all of this stuff is planted, I'm going to hit pause on these so we can have all of these fully staffed. So just let those guys speed through all of that, at least to a certain extent. Refill our water tanks and all that stuff. That's all trees. Okay. All right, folks. I think that's going to have to be where we leave it for today. I am really happy with the amount of progress that we got done. I know we haven't really addressed everything that everyone's wanted us to do so far, but we've got corn, we've got a lot more water storage, and we have more coming on the way. We've got a little bit more sustainable power, and we have metal so that we can, hopefully, if we get a drought this upcoming cycle, get this last diversion set up here, and we'll be in good shape. But this is all the time I got for this one. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, giving helpful feedback, comments, etc. I do always read them. I try to make this as much of a let's play and not a just watch me play how I want to play kind of setup. But there are some things that I'm just going to have to do because it makes the most sense. But that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate you guys giving your input, even if it's not something that I'm going to end up using. Beard boosters subsidize everything on this channel. Of course, you've seen all these videos, you already know. But just in case you don't, they're the folks that make it so I don't have to have sponsors and I don't have to do the really short, edited down clip style, whatever. Which, hey, that's fine. I enjoy watching those videos too, but it's not the kind that I like to make. So, just the fact that those folks are willing to chip in a little bit and keep the channel going, so I don't have to, try to chase everything down virality or whatever, if that even makes sense. It means a lot to me, and I'm very, very thankful for the support. But even if you're not on that list, I'm glad you're here just the same. So whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back again soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.